Hey, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jared from 3C's Recreation. Pretty excited. We usually do a lot of beta content and all the stuff that we sell, but our kids all ride a lot, and we were lucky enough to pick up a KX, a YZ, and an RM. These are all 85s. That's a 2016. We've been working on that bike, so check out our channel for other videos of that bike. This is a 2019 YZ85, and then this is pretty much a brand new KX85. And I thought it'd be really cool to give you guys maybe like a shootout. I know they're not all perfectly brand new, but the RMs haven't really changed since like 06. The YZs are all the same up until this year. And we have a brand new one on order. We just, like COVID, we've been waiting 6 months for the 2022. And the KX changed this year, but for all you parents at home that are just buying bikes for kids, not always buying right off the showroom, you're just buying a nice used bike for your kid. These are prime examples of all the used bikes you can pick up. And so I've got a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old. We're going to get them all riding here in a minute. And I'm going to stop them and ask them their feedback, what bike they like, seat height, engine characteristics. They're all bone stock motors. Nothing's been changed. I do have a different silencer on the YZ just because we bought that bike in a box and we put it back together and it didn't come with a silencer, so I added one to that. We're at TV Land. We're in Ohio. First ride of the year. Feels great. So they're gonna have a lot of bugs to work out just on their riding skills. But Trevor did a great job. He's got 2 tracks for the kids today. He just finished discing them. So I'm gonna go out and let the boys do some warm-up laps, get some time on each bike, and then you can see over in the distance is the other track. A little more elevation and different jumps to it. So it's super cool. And also the 14 and the 13-year-old, they are on a KX100 and a YZ85 as well. So they are familiar with 2-strokes. And Braxton, my son, he's 10, he just kind of rides, he's been riding the Yamaha mostly. Yeah, there's Braxton. So yeah, we're excited to give you guys a little shootout. That way if you guys are at home wanting to buy a used bike for your kid, you don't have to go spend $6 grand on a brand new KTM. We picked these up for really decent money. The RM, we have maybe 2,500 bucks in. We have like maybe $3 grand in this, and I picked this up for $3 grand as it is. Some guy bought the wrong bike for their kid up in Buffalo. I was able to swoop in and grab that. They had 10 minutes on this thing, so looking to help you guys save money and show you what you can get, so stay tuned. All right, so this is Jackson, he's 14, he's on the KX first. This is Braxton, he's 10, he's on the YZ, and Lex is 13, and he just finished up on the RM. So Jackson, what do you think of that bike?
I like it. It's got a lot of power.
So that's your first time riding Kawasaki, because you've always been on the Yamahas.
Yep.
Braxton, you've spent a lot of time on this Yamaha. You've got like 20 hours or more on this bike already. What do you think of this one?
It's good. It's just so smooth.
So you're probably the shortest, and we're going to give you guys rider profiles later on seat height, and I think this is the tallest bike for sure, but we're going to confirm that later for you guys in this video. What do you think of the RM, Lex?
It rides good, just clutch is a little snappy on the first, but otherwise it's all good.
And the track's still kind of breaking in for the day, so now we're going to have you guys swap. Why don't you guys just go this way? So you hop onto the KX, and then Lex can come over onto the YZ.
I got it.
All right, so now these bikes are warmed up and you guys should be able to go out. What do you think right away, Braxton? How does that feel compared to the Yamaha?
A lot different. This seems longer and it almost feels shorter though.
Yeah, it does look shorter. And I feel like, do the handlebars feel like they're back farther towards you maybe?
Yeah. And
they're kind of like swept back.
Longer as well.
Lex, what do you think of the Yamaha coming off of the RM? Like just sitting on it, does it feel shorter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell how bent your knees are compared to what you were just on.
Yeah.
The handlebars feel pretty similar maybe?
Yeah.
Or do they feel different?
I don't know. Yeah, it feels pretty good.
What do you think, Jackson? So you were just on the Cowie.
I like this. It's a little bit taller.
A little bit taller.
Might be a little bit different to handle.
Yeah, all right. Well, why don't you guys fire them up and give me a couple laps. Okay, Jackson, you were on the Kawasaki first, now you're on the RM. What do you think of that one?
I like this one. It's a lot more touchy on the throttle. The shifter's a lot more forward.
So the shifter's farther forward in this for your boots?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good side note. You got probably the, I don't know what size boots do you have, do you know?
12 or 13.
12s? All right, those are pretty big boots. So it gives you more room for your boots on there.
Yeah.
So you think it's snappier on the throttle on the RM?
Definitely.
Compared to the Kawasaki?
Yeah.
What do you think of so you were on the RM first, and now you're on the Yamaha. So what do you think of this one?
I like the Yamaha better because I think height difference maybe, and it took me a second to find the back brake on this thing.
So the back brake's tucked in it. This is Braxton's bike that he rides the most, and that might be just tucked in more just from him riding it and maybe getting bent in. Let's see. Yeah, this you can see on here. This one's definitely tucked out a little bit farther.
I definitely like it better.
What do you think of like the seating positions? Are they pretty similar?
Yeah.
But this one's definitely, you said, is the Yamaha a little bit lower, you think?
Yeah, I think. Or maybe
Okay.
I just wait on that one.
Okay, Braxton, you were on the Yamaha first, which you spent a lot of time on, and then now you came to the Kawasaki.
This thing feels short, like really short. In the corners, it like really drags out the power. Like there's a lot of power all the way through. And I figured out that you gotta use the clutch quite a bit, like to roll through the corners more than you have to do that. It's a lot more snappy, like. But this one's a lot more like chill roll.
Yeah, I think I agree. Just from what I know about the Kawasaki 85 is that it has a lot more roll-on power, so it takes longer for it to wind up. So you have to ride the Kawasaki higher in the RPMs. And I think you guys are all kind of already discovering that just riding them yourself. So what do you think of the handlebars, the way that they're kind of pulled back more compared to the Yamaha? Do you mind that?
Yeah, I mean, it feels a lot like just like closer, kind of like different.
And it might be harder for you to keep your butt forward on the seat.
Yeah, then it feels like this.
You because that's kind of the position you need to be in.
Yeah.
But maybe with a different handlebar setup, we could, if we had like a straighter bar on there. So, okay, so let's remember what happens here. So Braxton, you need to go to the RM. Lex, you're going to the Kawasaki, right?
Yep.
And Jackson's going to the Yamaha. Okay. So Jackson has a Yamaha. He has almost the same exact bike. He's got a 2019 Yamaha, so he should feel at home on that. And Lex has a KX100, but it's the big wheel. Similar year. I think yours is a 16. This is a 19. So, all right, guys, fire them up and let's see what you guys think of this. Little quick throw out to Trevor Vines for letting us show up early. He let us come a little bit early to do our review. You can see the line already showing up. It's a beautiful day. It's like the first nice day of the year here, and well, I guess we're Northeast Ohio at this point, but man, it's beautiful. First ride of the year for you guys. How you guys all taking that? Feels good to get back on a track?
Yeah.
All right, so you were on the Kawasaki, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were on the Kawasaki. Yeah, so what do you think of the RM compared to the Kawi?
Straddle, I love it. It's just like right away it goes. Like I don't have to like go like this or anything. It's just like it goes very fast in the throttle. And the corners are easier with it because of the throttle. I don't have to twist it so much. And it's just like quick, flowy.
You seemed a little bit faster on this bike just from the naked eye.
Yeah.
And then seat height, I was concerned it'd be a little bit taller for you being 10, but
No,
I mean, you're on a
so
track.
comfortable,
You're
like-
fine. And what do you think about cornering compared to the Kawasaki? You mentioned that this one felt a little bit longer in the front.
They're about the same, but I kind of like this one more because of its zippiness.
Okay.
That one like kind of carries it out more.
Okay, Lex, you're normally on a Kawasaki, but you just came off of the Yamaha, right? Is that the one you rode last time? So what do you think of the Yamaha, or the Kawasaki now that you rode the Kawi?
Yeah, I like it better because, I don't know, it's just
You're
what I
used,
normally ride.
you're used to the Kawasaki?
Yeah.
What do you think of like the handlebars? You look a little more cramped in that one though. Does it feel a little bit taller or like smaller on you?
No, not really.
Okay.
But what Braxton said with like cornering and stuff, it does take a second for it to actually like hit.
Yeah, a little more drag on the power before it kicks in, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit more clutch work needed at lower speed.
Yeah.
I think for me watching you, I think you fit the best on the Suzuki. I just feel like the handlebars are the highest and you have the most room just from like watching you.
Yeah.
But it's, if you're comfortable in that, parents could just buy a different set of handlebars to throw that hole forward.
Yeah.
All right, Jackson, you came off of, you were on the Kawi, weren't you?
RM.
No,
You were on the RM. Gosh, I can't keep them straight. So you were on the RM, now you're on the Yamaha.
Yeah.
What do you think about the differences?
I love the power of the bike. Just as you saw, I couldn't get the brake pedal to get pressed. I couldn't find the brake pedal, so I had to go off the edge. But other than that, I love the bike.
So that might be, I mean, it doesn't look totally bent. It looks pretty good, but I can pull that out. I have some tools in the truck. We'll pull that out so you guys can all kind of get more comfortable with that. So power compared to what you were riding before.
I just like the snappiness of the Yamahas.
So the Yamaha feels like the most controllable. It's not like you're bogging in the corner, but it's not like it's ripping your hands off either.
Yeah, I like the comfort.
So if you were to pick one of these 3 bikes, what bike would you take home?
Yamaha.
You take home a Yamaha? Lex, what would you take home?
Kawasaki.
The Kawasaki? And Braxton, what would you take home if you could choose between the 3?
I don't know. The Suzuki and the Yamaha are like tied right up there, but I feel like I'm faster on this one. Like,
You look pretty good on that bike, I'm surprised. Okay, so let's put you guys back on your original bikes now. So guys, realize how lucky we are to get you early? Trevor let us come in. Look at all the line over there now to get in. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Woo!
oh my freaking arm.
Okay, you guys are super tired. First time riding. You're back on your original bikes.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about that?
It's kind of weird going from such a bike that I'm used to riding to this thing.
Yeah. Do you liking the power on that, or what do you think?
I see what they're saying about how it takes so long for it to get the power.
Kind of whine into it?
Yeah.
It's funny watching you guys do these jumps over here because you're coming off of a different bike and the suspension's doing something like your nose high or your back high, but like by the 3rd time you guys jump it, you guys are jumping it a lot smoother. So it's, you guys are adapting quick to each bike, which is cool to see.
Yes.
What do you think of the room on that, Lex? Do you like it, or you still loving your Cowie?
Well, I like this back now.
Your KX100, yeah, for sure.
But it is a pretty good bike. It's just, yeah.
What do you think, Braxton? How are you liking that one?
Good, but I was over that berm down there.
I was wondering what took you so long to
I
get
kept
over.
trying to grab the like back brake and grab the clutch and like front brake and everything. I went over the berm, like luckily I got my back brake and like.
All right, so we're gonna pull that back brake out. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, let's give you guys a break, and then we're gonna go do the big track here in a little bit, and we'll give you guys some lap times to see who's fastest on what bike. All right, so you guys just did a fast lap on each of the 3 bikes on the big track. Actually, a really good turnout today. There is a ton of people here, which is awesome. It's good to see. First day of the year, a ton of bikes over there even. What bike do you think you're the fastest on, Jackson?
Yamaha.
Okay. What do you think, Braxton?
I'm gonna say the Suzuki.
I think so too. What do you think, Lex?
Probably Kawasaki.
Kawasaki? So what I'm gonna do tonight is I filmed it each lap time, so I'll go back tonight, we'll get the splits out, and I'll show you guys what bike the kids are the fastest on. Thanks for tuning in. This was Jared at 3Cs. Hope this guy's helped you figure out, what you need for your kids. Or I think the big storyline is you can basically buy any one of these bikes and your kids are gonna have a great time. You don't have to buy top of the line $7,000 KTM to have your kids come out to the track and have a great ride. So pick up a used bike. You can go through them like this bike we rebuilt from the ground up. Check out our YouTube channel on that. And Braxton actually being the oldest bike, I think he's the fastest on it out of everything we got sitting here. So thanks for tuning in. This is Jared at 3Cs. Have a great day.